Welcome to week 6 of Unleash Yourself. And this week we are going to deep dive into our higher emotions. Now, just like last week, our higher emotions are vibrating at a higher frequency. So this is what makes them considered higher emotions. So we're looking at joy, happiness, peace, serenity, euphoria. So all of these emotions are lighter. They are they're higher and harder to actually keep ourselves in these states. So this week, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the last, our whole life. We're going to look at our whole life and we're going to pinpoint the times in our life where we were experiencing true happiness, where we were experiencing true joy or true bliss or true serenity. And we're going to look at what were we doing, who was in our lives, what was the experience, and we're gonna really take some time to experience those emotions, to develop a relationship with the happiness, with the joy, with the bliss. And we're actually going to really deep dive into where is my happy place? What am I doing that brings me the most joy? Or maybe you gotta say, okay, I'm not experiencing a lot of joy in my life. I'm not experiencing a lot of happiness in my life. What do I want to do to bring more happiness, to bring more joy, right? Sometimes we realize that we get stuck in like a funk, right? And we're like, oh, I can't even tell you the last time I actually experienced happiness, right? So sometimes, right, especially as we're journeying through life and we're going through, the journey, we get into a funk and we get consumed in our lower emotions, right? We get consumed in our anger, consumed in our sadness, consumed in our fears. And that's very easy to do because they're very dense and they're heavy and, they're hard to get out of, right? If you're, walking through the mud and you're like really having to walk through the mud, sometimes your shoes fall off, right? Because the suction is so great that you have a hard time getting out of it. The same thing happens with those lower vibratory emotions. Sometimes we get stuck in the mud and we have a hard time, seeing the other side, right? The grass on the other side is greener type of metaphor, right? Or, we can't see the flowers through the garbage because we're so caught up and we're consumed in it. So we want to spend this week and really spend some time and determine, is there something that I can do to bring more joy in my life? Is there something that I can do to make me more happy? Is there some hobby that I've been wanting to do and I haven't been doing it because, I just don't have time. So look at, what is it that is preventing you from experiencing happiness, experiencing joy, experiencing bliss? And is there anything that you can do to bring those things into your life? Now, if you're already happy and you're already joyful, then what I want you to do is actually sit in that space, sit in that happiness, sit in that joy. Because the longer you can sit in the happiness and sit in the joy, the more you raise your personal vibration to attract more happiness, to attract more joy. And so that's what we're going to work on this week is we're either already happy, we're already joyful, so we're going to spend some time. And even if we do generally sit in happiness and sit in joy and we sit in that place of gratitude, there's always more happiness. There's always more joy that we can experience. There's always more to the more, right? You can always go and dig deeper and find more joy, right? Find those things that make your heart sing and do them. So that's what this week is about. This week is about, getting into that happiness, getting into that joy, right? So some people don't really understand. So happiness is, you're happy, right? You're smiling, you're happy. Maybe you're sitting around, you're having drinks with friends. You're sitting around a bonfire, and you're just happy. Or maybe some family has come to visit, or friends have come to visit, and you're happy. Joy would be the next level, right? So it would be, what would really make this even better is if my kids could be here, or if my sister could be here, or my brother could be here, right? Like, and so it's the next level, right? And then that happens, and then you're actually like ecstatic, right? So it's different degrees, right? Our higher emotions are different degrees of happiness and joy and bliss and serenity, love, right? Love is a very, very high emotion, right? Love is like that I would give the shirt off my back type of, right? So we're going to spend some time, and right, we're going to either see why we're not happy, why we're not joyful. Is there anything that we can do? Maybe we're just being consumed by those lower emotions. And this is about awareness, right? We need to become aware of our emotions. We got to become aware of what's happening, right? Awareness is key. If you're aware of what's going on in your body and you're aware of your emotions, then you can actually change them. So that's what we're looking at. And we're looking at finding those moments. Now, if you're having a hard time, and because you've just been consumed by, say, sadness or grief or anger, then think about some times in your life where you were happy. Maybe it was Christmas, maybe it was, sitting around having a cup of tea with your sister, maybe it was having a great conversation that you needed to have with a parent. Whatever it is that, brought you happiness, put yourself back in that situation and experience that happiness, that joy. Maybe it was the birth of your child and you were just like full of joy in that moment, or maybe you were full of fear in that moment because you were like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But whatever it is that brings you joy and brings you peace, find that, so that way you can anchor it. It's about finding the higher emotions and anchoring them. As always, if you have questions, concerns, you need some clarity, always reach out, always ask. If you're having realizations and you want to share with the group, then please do. And otherwise, I am wishing you the best of week, and I'm looking forward to meeting with you soon.